Have you ever wanted to make a game but didn't know where to find the graphics? Well, I will show you in today's video. We're here for another amazing video game development video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today we're going to jump into a little bit of a different one. I'm going to do something a little more challenging. So we're going to do some animations today in our video, and I'm going to show you how to do that with nothing but artificial intelligence and simple prompting. So yeah, so this site I wanted to show you first. This is where I'm going to get some graphics from. This is a great site. It's called itch.io/game-assets. I will put the website on the screen right now so you can easily track it down. But this is just a site full of free tile sheets, as well as some of them do cost money, but some of them are completely free, and you can just browse through them. If they do cost money, they'll clearly state that they cost money. Some of them do ask for donation, so it's up to you if you want to leave them something. I mean, I support them any chance I can. So yeah, anyway, so for today's video, we're just going to grab some random tile set. This one looks great. Something from here. So it's showing some examples. It's showing some of the stuff you get within it. But we're going to click on this download now button. It says, you know, would you like to donate $2? No thanks, just take me to the download. I've already donated a lot of to a lot of these guys, so I don't feel obligated to do it again. But we're going to download this one. It says Ninja Adventure Zip. Hopefully this is what we want. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't do any advanced work on this one, so let's just see if this is so you got to extract it once you download it. But yeah, let's just see if there's any good backgrounds in here. So this is all our tile sets and stuff we can use, which is pretty awesome. As you can see, there's some objects in here, some cool buildings, pretty neat stuff. But what I want to do is I want to get some nice tiles that are pretty much repeatable, I think. So I think that looks pretty cool. Those tiles are pretty neat. So let's open one of these in Paint. Because the first thing I'm going to need in our game is we're going to need some sort of ground or land or blocks. So let's just grab some sort of tile like this, and we're just going to crop it in Paint. Now, I don't think that's fully repeatable, but it's going to look a little weird with the edges, I think. See how it has these weird corners? I don't know how I feel about that, so I'm going to try to get rid of those corners. So we're just going to go right inside. Just like so. Okay, let's crop this. These little green specks are annoying too. Gosh, guys, this is so tedious. Okay, we got our amazing tile now, right? So the main thing here, we need to know the size of it. So I'm going to make this 50 pixels by 50 pixels. And I'm just changing it to not maintain the aspect ratio, as in we can modify it to whatever size we want. And there's our lovely little texture. And we're going to save this as you can save it as whatever you want, but for naming conventions, just for simplicity, I would suggest, just a second, I'm going to show you something. So anyways, we're going to create a new folder. I would suggest always keeping your images kind of in the same format. So if they're all PNGs, they're all JPEGs, it's kind of consistent that way. It's easy to name them in your code. So what will we call it? Adventure game or something. Sweet. Okay, so we're going to go inside this folder and we're going to create another folder called images. This is where we're going to store our graphics. And as of now, we only have one image, which is this, and we're going to save it as file save as desktop, and it was called date modified adventure game images. Okay, and this is grass tile. We'll just call it grass. Sweet. I don't care. Okay, and then we're going to go back. We just go back here. We can grab another tile here. We're going to do this one a little bit faster. I like this one for the sand, I guess. It's a little different than anything I've used before. So we're going to crop that one. And just try to keep everything consistent. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm going to for the sake of this tutorial. Everything's going to be 50 by 50. Great, and then we're going to save that as sand. So save as PNG. There's our lovely folder, sand. Okay, so we had two different tiles now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now we need some sort of objects to place in our game. So let's just look around. What other cool tile sets? We have this cool. These are very cool rocks. I like those rocks. So let's maybe get that rock in there. So what we're doing right now is we're just grabbing some graphics, and we're going to be using them in our game development. Hopefully, if all goes well. But we need some graphics to kind of set stuff up first. I really like this rock. It's a really weird shape though. We should get something more squared. Yeah, let's get something a little more squared. And we're just going to grab it as close to the edges as we possibly can. Right about there looks great. We're going to crop that bad boy. That looks pretty good. Could get a little bit closer to the bottom, but it's okay. For now, it's okay. So we're going to save this one as this one. We're going to have to do something a little bit different, but we're going to, oh yeah, we're going to resize it like usual. We're going to set it to our same size as our grid tiles. You can save it to whatever size you really want, but I just want to save it to the same. Actually, I'm going to save it as the size of 2 grid tiles. And no, I just want it 1 grid tile. Okay. So it's 50 by 50 pixels. We're going to save this as a PNG. It did get a little distorted, as you can see, so you got to be careful sometimes. Rock, and we're going to save that as rock. That's fine. It's saying our transparency is lost. We'll deal with that after. I gotta sneeze. Oh gosh. It's a big one. Okay. So now we need some sort of tree. These trees look a little funny. This one looks okay though. Looks like a piece of broccoli. Let's grab the broccoli tree. So right about there, I think. Let's grab that. Lock that up and we'll crop it. And there's our lovely little tree. Looks like the black line at the top got a little messed up. I might have to fix that. My OCD will kick in and it'll bug me, so let's just fix it really quick. You can always just hit back and then retry it, but I'm just going to quickly do a quick fix here. That's not what we wanted. That's way too thick. For some reason it was on the thick line. Just like that. Nice. Okay, great. So we're going to save this as... Did I resize it yet? Nope. So for now, let's make this one 50 by 50. Great. Save that. Oh, shoot. I didn't change it to pixels. So you want to change this to pixels? Actually, maybe I did change it to pixels because I zoomed in. So it's the aspect ratio is really zoomed in right now. So anyways, it's going to look a lot better. We're going to file save this as a tree. Tree. Save. Okay. So as you can see, these last few images aren't squared. They're not the textures. So they do have some white background that we got to try to remove. So if we go to our amazing site, remove.bg, we can find our files here. Should be under adventure game. We can grab this rock, for example, and it should automatically just try to remove all the background. So if you look really carefully, it actually removed it. I'm not going to zoom in too much, but it actually removed the background. You can see the plaid there. So we're going to download this, and there's our lovely rock without the background. It looks awesome. So let's go back one more. We're going to take another tree. Okay. It looks a little finicky on this side. I kind of want to touch that up a bit. One thing you can do is you can take this eraser and try to clean up the edges a little bit, but it looks alright. Looks alright. Okay, so we have our tree now. It looks a little more cleaned up now, I think. It's good. We touched up the white stuff around the edges a little bit. It's a little sharp here, but it's fine. It's gonna do for today. Okay, so we have our folder now. We have our 4 textures. We have a rock, we have a tree, we have sand, we have grass. Now what are we going to do with this textures? Well, I think what we should do is we should make a world. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to generate some sort of world. And I'm going to use ChatGPT to do this for me. So, hello, I am making a video game. I want to code this game in HTML and JavaScript. Can you place majority of the code within the JS file? So what I'm saying is we're going to code it in HTML and JavaScript, but mostly in JavaScript. Okay. Next, we want to say I want to have the JavaScript file organized within classes to keep things easy to read. I want you to follow good coding style and abide by industry standards, enhancing performance. Okay, so I'm just saying code it properly. Like, do this. Don't just don't run short here. Go full out. Make a really good program. Write it properly. Follow industry standards. Do what you can to give it the most amount of knowledge that you can. Like, I'm telling it, write it in JavaScript and write it in class format so that everything's structured in classes. The reason why you want to do this is definitely the most important thing. The reason why you want to do this is not only is it easy to read. So, for example, what I mean by a class system is if we have a player object, we're going to have the player class, and everything to do with the player is going to be within that player class. Then we have our world class. Everything to do with the world is in the world class. Then we have, the store class. Everything to do with the store is going to be in the store class. But it's important to have it organized that way because it's not only easy to read, but when you're operating with ChatGPT and getting sections of code to help you write, it's important to be able to just, isolate sections of code, and classes help do that. So you'll see what I mean later. If you try this, it'll only help you. So I really suggest that. Use a class system when you are coding, and I'll show you a little bit more about that when it outputs it. I want you to follow good coding style and abide by industry standards, enhancing performance. I want to create a world of tiles. The tiles should be 50 pixels by 50 pixels in size. They should not overlap and form a grid of 20 by 20 tiles. Use the images/grass.png. So this is what I'm doing here is I'm saying use the image. So use the grass tile image, and I have to reference the exact location because it has no idea where it is. So I'm saying use this image so it knows to reference that point for the background of all the tiles except for the tiles around the outer edge. Can we have the background of the edge tiles set to images/sand.png? So let's see what this does. I have no idea what's going to happen, but it seems to be writing us some code. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to need to be able to link in this script sheet. So what it's saying is we have an external JavaScript file, and we need to reference it, and it needs to be called this name. So, and we also need to reference or link in a style sheet as well. It wants us to. So let me show you how to do that really quickly. So we're going to go to this is our folder, our adventure game folder. Okay. So we're going to create a new file. called text document. We're going to call it index. Okay? And then we're going to create another new text file called, what did it want us to call it? I think it was game, right? Game.js. Okay? So we want to save this as, oh my goodness, got so many things open here. So we want to save this as game. Yes, sure. Oh, shoot. Crap. Okay, so we're going to rename this to game. So we have our two text documents. They're completely useless right now. So what we need to do is we need to put them inside of our folder. Okay. And we're going to take this file and we're going to open it with Notepad. We're going to save as, and we're going to change this .index to .html. So we're saying save this file as an HTML file, and the type has to be of all types because it's no longer going to be a text file. It's going to change into an HTML file. So we need to change it to that. Okay. X off that, and as you can see, it has changed the little icon to our Mozilla Firefox, which is our internet browser currently. And index we can now delete because we don't need it anymore. We're going to go into our, we're going to open this with our game file. We're going to open this with Notepad again. And same thing, we're going to save this as, but we have to save this as a .js file. And we have to change this to all files once again. Save this file. So just to reference, we go back in here, and as you can see, it's got some JavaScript saved as a JS file. So we can now delete this one. So we have our two files are set up perfectly. And if we need to operate with them at all, we can just use Notepad. So let's get them all set up here. So we have our index.js, and we have our so we have our two notepads, right? We have game and we have index. So index is going to be our HTML file. And what I mean by that is it's going to be our file that's going to launch our game files. So we're going to take this. We're going to go into index. We're going to save it right here. And we're going to just save that bad boy. We actually have to create another file. Do you guys know what it is? That's right, we got to create our CSS file. So let's go into, let's go back into our folder here. I'm going to create a new text document, and we're going to call it styles. And we're going to open this once again with Notepad. We're going to save it as styles, all files, and this is a .css. So it's the CSS. Cascade Style Sheet. That's what it stands for, but make sure you switch this to all files once again, save that, and let's just make sure that it is saved as a .css file, and as you can see, Cascade Styling Sheet. So let's get rid of this, and then there's our three files. That's going to be our game files. We're going to keep them all open. It's just going to be easier to operate this way from now. Okay. So as you can see, I haven't had to download any software at all so far. And that's what I really want to show you guys is that you can do this stuff for free. So download it anyways. So we're going to go into our styles, and we're going to save the body and the title part to our styles. I don't know why this is telling me to do that, but a little confused right now. Let's take this. Oh, right, because we saved it as a different type, so it's confused right now. So we need to open this with our Notepad, and then we need to save it here. File, save. Okay. Oops, I just closed it. That's fine. So we're going to go into our next section, which is create JavaScript. We're going to put that in our game file, and we're going to save that. Same thing, why am I doing save as? We're going to save it, and we're done. So now if we test this, let's see what happens. And there's our amazing map. Okay, so we have a map. It looks pretty nice. Like it's definitely repeatable, which is kind of cool. Alright guys, so we have this lovely little map. Now what can we do with it? Well, let's add some objects to it. That's what I'm thinking. So we have this rock. It's a pretty cool object. I really want to put it on the map somewhere. So let's get it out there. So we're going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to start a new chat entirely. If you ever get confused or it gets confused or lost or anything like that, it's not a big deal to start a new it's not a big deal to start a new conversation. And what I like to do is say, hey, I have made a game. I want to add some features to it. Here is my current code. Here is my current code. And then, so we're going to have to get all of our code here. So we're going to go into our adventure game. We're going to go into all files. So we're going to grab our JavaScript code. So we copied our HTML code. Now we're going to copy our all files and our style sheet. Right? Great. So we have all this code, right? Yeah, we know about the player. We know about all that stuff. So it's giving us some cool ideas. Right. One thing I want to do is I want to introduce obstacles and I want to introduce the player. So let's add these two things for now. I want to implement these two features. I want everything coded within JavaScript and all within JavaScript. I want the player within the player class and the player attributes, the player, what is it? The player functionalities within the player class and the objects within the world class. I have a character image you can use called character dot called you. So we actually don't have a character image as of yet, but I'm going to find one really quickly right now. So let's just grab one right here. So we're going to go to this amazing site called bing.create.com. Two-dimensional character. Now, I'm definitely going to add some animations or some character sprite to this in a bit, but this is just temporary. We want to get our world kind of functioning, and in order for our world to function, we need to have some sort of way to test it and figure out, like we're making this from scratch, right? So this is a big deal. We needed some sort of testing method to see what we can do, or how our world works, or how it operates. You know, get some objects in there. Well, in order to have objects, you need to have some player to. Oh boy. Not gonna lie, I didn't expect this one, guys, but there's our guy for now. Okay, so we're gonna open this thing in Paint. Oh wow, that's funny. We're gonna go to downloads, and did I download it? What's it called? Just open it there. Okay. Anyways, open it with Paint. There's our amazing guy. Okay. or person. It could be a girl. It could be a. I don't know what it is. Who knows what it is? Anyways, let's grab right here. Pretty good. Shoot. I don't know. It's pretty high. That's a good start though. I know his arm's cut off. Shoot. It's a little bit lower and a little bit more this way. Oh, that's perfect. His head's cut off. Oh yeah, guys, there it is. There's the one. And right about there. Right about there, perfect. Crop it. Okay. We have a person, he's amazing. We're gonna resize it to, what's our magic number of this game? I think our magic number is 50 by 50. All of our images are gonna be 50 by 50 for the most part. He's pretty cute, small now, like that. And then we're gonna save it as a PNG. We're gonna save it somewhere that we can find. Sure, let's go to images, adventure game. Then we got to do our classic move, which is remove the background. So we're going to go to our amazing site called remove.bg. Upload this bad boy here. It'll look a lot better without the square around them anyways. Ooh, we got some work to do. Alright, so we're going to have to get rid of this crap. Looks pretty awesome. Got this little tail. There it is. Mr. Ghost Man. Okay. I wanted to look like a ghost because I didn't want feet. Okay. So we're good. So we got little Mr. Ghost. He's actually kind of cute. He's cool. Ghost Man. Alright, that's awesome. Okay. So now we get out of this site. We're going to go back to our files here. We need to put Ghost Man in there. So we're going to go down to our downloads. There he is. We're going to go into our adventure game, images, delete this guy. We're going to paste Ghost Man. Oh man, he looks sweet. We're going to rename this to character. Okay, we got our character in our game. It's official. But what we do need to do is add some functionality. So I wanted to implement these two features. I want everything coded within JavaScript. I want the player functionalities within the player class, the object within the world class. I have a character image you can use for I have a character image you can use for the use images / character.png. Display it as 50 pixels by 50 pixels. Have the character start near the center of the tile map. The player should not be able to move off of the tile map. Give the return entirely in JS. Okay. So let's see what happens here. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to output, but hopefully it gives us our controls. Today it's been kind of finicky, so I don't know. Let's see what it can do. So it's referencing the right locations of the files. I can see that. So and there's the rock one there. It's creating it as an object. It seems to be just randomly placing it. I think this should work. You would think this would work. Okay. So once again, I'm going to go back here. And there's our guy. Now the worst thing is, so we can move him, which is sweet. The only thing is we don't have, and we can't move him off of our map. So there is a boundary. Now the only thing is we got to tell it that I still do not see any rock.pngs. That's obstacles. Everything else looks correct though. Save it. Okay, so we just got our code, we pasted it over our file, and we're gonna run our new one. And there's our rocks. Now they look pretty sweet. I don't know if they're gonna provide collision. No, they don't provide collision prevention yet. So we need to go back to the drawing board for this one. So I went back to ChatGPT and I started an entirely new chat. Now, if you ever need to start a new chat, you just click this little button right up here in the top left corner. But I started a new chat and I said, hello, I've made a game. I want the rocks to provide collision for the player character and to prevent the player from moving on top of them. Then I just copied and pasted my entire JavaScript file. It then returned the addition that I needed to add in. But that seemed a little confusing to me, and I thought it would be confusing for you guys to try to locate this area. So I said, can you return the entire JavaScript file with the additions? And it seemed to return the entire file. So I'm going to copy and paste this file now over our .game file. So we open this with Notepad. Select A, Control V, Control S. Okay. And we're going to run our game. And we can move still, everything's good there, our rocks are there, and they are not letting me walk on top of them. This is great. One more step in the right direction, guys. One more step in the right direction. It's pretty cool. Alright, so we have some obstacles now. We have some sort of player. They don't seem to collide at all. Everything's randomly spawned. It's kind of cool. We're off to a good start, guys. I think next we're gonna have to add some sort of collectible or some sort of purpose to the game. So let's go grab an image for that. Alright guys, so I went over to Bing.create. I found a nice image of some sort of pumpkin. I thought it looked kind of cool. We can use it for our collectible today. I've removed the background already, so it's all ready to go. Now I just need to get the code in order to add this into our amazing game as a collectible. So we're gonna go back to it. Alright, so I hopped back over to ChatGPT, and what I did was I said, here's my game, I want to add collectibles to it, and then I just told it where the image was once again, said images/pumpkin.png, display it by 50 pixels by 50 pixels, and have them spawn at random 5 to 15 seconds, no more than 2 on the map at one time. If the player collides with the collectible, it should disappear and increment a counter somewhere. And then I just copied and pasted all my code. Yeah, simple as that. We're going to see what happens. I did just paste it into this notepad here. So we're going to just test it out and make sure she runs. So let's open our file. And as you can see, we have our ghost moving around. Everything's fine and dandy. And our collectible has spawned on the map. Now they should spawn at random and there should not be more than 2. So I'm just going to wait to test this and make sure that no more than 2 spawn. Could take up to 15 seconds. So anyways, it's looking pretty good actually, guys. Shoot. But this is a pretty easy game. I mean, there's some cool collectibles that spawn every once in a while now. So it gives us some sort of objective, something to do right. But it's a pretty easy game. We can't lose. And there's no goal. I think we need to add some sort of problem. Let's add a monster. Alright guys, so if you followed along earlier, you noticed that we went to itch.io, that site with the sprites there. And if you did follow along earlier in the video, you may have noticed that we downloaded one of the sprite packages, aka one of the folders full of images. That was, I believe it's called Ninja Adventure. So I'm going to click on this Ninja Adventure one. If you click on Actor, I believe there's a lot of different monsters and stuff we could use. We're going to look for something pretty straightforward here for our first example. That looks kind of cool. Um, I think actually I downloaded another one. I'm gonna use one of these ones because I think these ones like a little bit better. So yeah, let's use this one. This one looks cool. It's a slime. So we're just gonna go. I just went on that site. I found a character sprite sheet in one of the packages. And in Paint here, you can change your view to grid lines or not. I'm going to put on grid lines. It's just easier for me to see. There's no difference really, though. It just helps with selecting stuff. So I'm going to keep everything kind of in the bottom, as close to the bottom as I possibly can. So right about there, I'm thinking, and as close to the walls as I can without cutting off the shadow. So I'm thinking maybe even closer than that, but whatever we do, we have to be consistent, right? So we're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go 4 wide. 4 wide. Yeah, let's do that. So we can do this many different ways, guys. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of different ways to go about this. I just think for the purpose of this tutorial, I think it's easier to just do it this way. So let's just let's go with that for today. It's close enough. So we're going to resize this now. We want to make sure everything's the same size, exactly the same size. Now you wouldn't normally do this with a small image, it will distort it a little bit, but I have a good feeling about this that it's not going to look too crappy, so looks alright, as you can see. So we're going to save this as our default slime image. So I want this to be save as PNG, and then we're going to go to our folder, which has our adventure game in it. Inside of images, I'm going to create another folder called monster. And inside of here, we're going to have slime. We're going to have 0 set for it. And make sure it's set to a PNG, at least you know it's set to a PNG. Oh shoot, yeah, I'll have to get rid of, oh, I didn't mean to close that. Oh crap. No. So anyways, we're going to go back to our folder, Mystic Woods, Sprites, Characters, Slime. Don't save. We're going to double up this size. So I'm going to show you what I did here. And we're going to switch this home, or this view to grid lines, and we're going to go back to home. We're going to select the next image. So what we're doing now is we're going to try to grab the next kind of sequence in our motion. So we're going right around the halfway point. So right about there. So crop that. We're going to resize this bad boy to 50 by 50. Okay. So we're going to save this as, and this one we're going to save as something just slightly different. So we're going to go to our desktop. I'm going to go to Adventure Game, Images, and we're going to save this within here, but we're going to save it as number 1. And then from this point forward, every time you go up an interval in instance, I want you guys to just increase that number by 1. So we're going to go here, for example. We're going to crop this. We're going to resize it. We're going to take it to 50 by 50. We're going to save this as file save as. I'm going to save it as number 2. And we're going to go through all of these. I'm not going to go through every single one. One thing you can do is you can quickly hit back once you have it kind of preloaded. So it will speed up the process slightly. We do need to grab this one right here. Crop. Nice. Resize pixels 50. 50. Oops. Okay, I'm going to save that as 3. Back. So I'm going to get a whack ton. I'm going to probably do about, I think probably 6 of them. At least 6 frames. And what you need to know is how many images you're doing, because that's how many frames per second we're going to be rotating through the animation. If that makes sense. So we're going to crop this, resize 50 by 50 pixels. File, save as. Number 4. Alright guys, so we're back at ChatGPT here. I just want to show you what my folder looks like. We have all of our images in our folder. We've removed all of their backgrounds, and they're just sitting in a sequence 0 to 7. Okay. The next step is we're going to open a new chat window. I'm going to just totally open a new one entirely and say, hello, I want to add a monster to my game. Its default image should be images/monster/0.png, because we're saying the first image that we wanted to display is this image, which is 0. And I'm also saying that it's in the monster folder. So as you can see, I haven't embedded it within another folder inside this folder. So you do have to you have to quote both of those. Let's see here. So we have 0.png. As the monster moves, I want it to animate its motion through 7 images. The images are in order 1 to 7 and located images/monster/x.png, where x is 1 to 7. I also want the monster to move at most 1 space adjacent from its location, its previous location, and periodically move towards the player's character. Make sure it avoids obstacles. All the images, this is very important. Let me actually double check that because I'm not even 100% sure, but when we go into our image folder here, where our adventure game is, we need to look and see which direction these guys are facing, and they're all facing to the right. So all the images for the monster are facing so we need to be sure to flip all images horizontally when the monster is moving to the left. Please add all of these changes within the monster class, if possible, and everything should be coded within the JavaScript file. So I'm saying please put it inside of the monster class. Create this class called monster. Return everything inside of our JavaScript file. Now we need to find our actual JavaScript file. So it's right here. It's this beautiful notepad file called game. We're going to select everything here. And I'm just going to paste everything from this file. Here is my current code. So I've given them pretty good message here. We're going to see what it outputs. So I actually had to tell it I want all of the code, no placeholder text. So hopefully it returns all of the file now. And then, yeah, I'm just going to copy it, paste it over, and see what happens. Hopefully it works out. I did see it did add a monster. I'm just not sure exactly what the monster's doing. Now, mind you, it's not going to have animations going up or down. We'll work on that in the next episode. So I'm going to do like character animations, moving, all different directions. I want to do some like gathering maybe. I was thinking, we can do some like harvesting of some goods. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I'm going to do another episode probably next Thursday. So if you guys are interested, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe as always. It helps me out a lot, and then you can get notified when the new videos come out. So it is adding the monster here, and it actually is adding it to an array of animation frames, which seems to be the right thing to do, because it's going to animate through them. It's looking pretty good. I'm feeling good about it actually. So we just got to get a couple more functions here. I'm just kind of looking it over. It's referenced the right location. Images monster. It is monster, right? It's not monsters. Images monster. Okay. That's another thing, is you should keep your folders if they're all plural, keep them all plural. I find that helps a lot too. If they're all singular, keep them all singular. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, but hopefully we have a bad guy added to our game. It'd be pretty awesome. Okay. Alright guys, I just want to thank you for joining me today. Make sure to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. I'm definitely going to bring forth some more animation stuff next week. I was hoping to get to it today, but we just didn't get around to it. As you can see here, there's some cool animation features that I want to implement with the character movement, as well as maybe some, special effects and stuff within the environment. So yeah, we'll tackle that stuff next week. Subscribe if you guys want to see it, and as always, you stay safe with there and happy gaming. Faberski out.